Hey, Bub, are we gonna give you fluids today? You seem pretty all right, but I don't know. I don't give them to you up there. Let me climb. Betty's like, what are you doing? What are you doing up here? All right, here is what I use, and here's what you would need. And all of these things, except for these, but they're available there, I got off of Chewy. If you haven't used Chewy for your pet stuff, for pretty much anything, I think it's an absolutely amazing company, from the things they carry to the customer service to it's like an empathetic kind of company. If you've ordered stuff from there or have a subscription or have dealt with them, then you already know that. But okay, back to this. Lactated ringers, 1,000 milligram bag. Pretty typical, pretty standard. And then I get this when it comes to the line, because you're gonna have to have your bag, your line, which I didn't know the first time I ordered this, and I guess my vet overlooked it too, and I just got the bag without the line. But you have to get both together or you can't use a bag, and you'll see why. Actual tubing that is going to draw the fluids into your kitty system, and then the needles, which for puppy, I like to use the 20 gauge. If you have a kitten, obviously you're going to want to use a smaller needle. This is just the one that was suggested to me. This is the one I started off with, and this is the one that I use. And I'll go ahead and put the prices here that I paid for each of these off of Chewy. And it's round about this price anywhere you'll find them. You do need a prescription, at least in Florida. I don't know about anywhere else, for at least these two things. Not the needles though, so fun fact. And you can maybe even find the needles at Walgreens or something. And as for how much I give puppy, I give him about 100 milliliters daily. So if we hold it up here, you could see this carries, like it says, 1,000. So if I'm giving him 100 daily, this is about 10 days worth. Sometimes I'll just give him 50. I would say maybe like 2 out of 10 days, I might give him 50, because if I give him the tent test, which I'll show you guys how to do to tell if your cat's dehydrated, if he's at what I would say is like a 2.5 with the tent test, I might just give him 50 milliliters. But most days I do give him 100, so I'll show you guys what that looks like. So now let me show you how I connect the line to this and the needle to the line, and then how I actually administer puppy's fluids to him. Hey, boo-boo. Whoop, you're close. Hi, honey. You want your fluids? Or you just want to chill out today? Maybe I'll just give them to you really early tomorrow? Purr, 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 purr. I might just give them to you really early tomorrow. Okay, here he is. Purr, 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 purr. So here's the tent test. The tent test is you want to grab kind of between their shoulder blades on their back, pull it up, and you could see he needs it. He's dehydrated. I don't know if there is a scale for this. I have a whole separate video about cats and dehydration, mentioning this tent test, which I will link below, but I go on a scale of 1 to 5, and I kind of count it as like seconds. So I would say this is like 3.5 to 4 seconds, which means he needs it. Here is how I set this up. And I only have to do this once until the bag's done. So this is a new bag. You can see the bottom right here. And so what we're gonna do is use this end of the line. So all you do is you take the bag as he purr, 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 purr. So you just grab this little knob. Hi, Pepper. And this opens up, this rubber piece. And then you just take this piece right here. You can see it's sharp. You can kind of see my pajamas. Look at my cute pajamas. Okay, anyway. So you take this sharp piece and you just stick it in here and pierce it all the way. You want it to go all the way through. Give it a little twisty poo. So like that, and you can see it's in there. Then what I do is have just like a push pin in the wall, if you don't mind putting pins in your walls. And the higher you are, the better it flows. So once this is open with the needle, then this, when you roll it this way, it stops it. So this is, you want to make sure that it's shut. So this is shut. This way is open, and you know it's open because the line can travel, but this is shut. So you want to make sure it's shut. This is another way to shut it. You just like squeeze the line in this way. I rarely use this one, but it comes with that. So here we shut it because we still have to put the needle in, and you want to change the needle every time. Since this is new, it doesn't have one on it. So you want to make sure not to touch the ends of everything. So this end is what's going to go onto the line. So we're going to just pop this off. Oop. And then you just press it on pretty hard and then screw this piece on like that, and then there's this. So this is a nice fresh needle. Here he comes. You know you need your hydration. I don't know about other cats. I think I'm just, you know, fortunate that he's chill and he purrs the whole time. You can see there's a lot of air in here, and so when it's a new line and bag that you just connected, you want to let all the air come out. So I would take a cup, or do this by a sink ideally. I'm just showing you where I usually give it to him. I'm gonna just open this up and do it by a sink or something. You wanna make sure not to touch that needle. Keep it nice and sterile. We're back, and it's 4 months later because that's just how it goes sometimes. I'm just gonna do this real quick, starting with this. It happens to be a new bag, and as I'm doing this, which I already showed you guys how to do, I will tell you that you probably saw the last update video on Puppy. He's doing great, and he is down to stage 2 on the IRIS scale for CKD or kidney disease or kidney markers in cats. So he's doing great. He's right down there. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but before you put this on, you kind of want to make sure it's locked, so that when you put the needle on, it doesn't squirt out everywhere. So this is locked. I still never use this thing. And we are going to unscrew this part, make sure it's unscrewed, which it typically is when you get it. Oh no, Paprika, no! It's not a teaser toy. And then you just pull the end out. We have brand new needle. And I'm gonna link all of this stuff below still. I actually have this on a subscription from Chewy. I can't remember if I mentioned that. So like I was saying, I don't give Puppy 100 milliliters every day anymore. I think I did that maybe 2 months. Actually, let's go do where I ended off last time. I'm going to loosen this up so that it's open, make sure the cap is off on here, otherwise all the fluid will just gather in here. And we're just gonna bleed the line so that there's no air when we put it in Puppy. This is opening the line. All right, so once the fluid is going, we just shut the line. Now it's ready to go to Puppy. I'm gonna keep the cap on until we actually get to a place, just so I don't stick myself or anything else. I like when he lays down here, which lately this has been our spot because I've learned I can hook it up here, and because it's so high up, it takes like less than 5 minutes to give him 100 milliliters. We are going to make sure this is untangled. I like to have his little brush nearby because he likes getting brushed. See, he's waiting for it. Hi, Alfred. So, when you put the needle in your kitty, you want to do it right about the spot where we gave him his tent test, and you want to do it with the hole up. There's a hole, obviously, in the needle, but it's on one side or the other, and you want to make sure that you put it in and that the hole is facing up, ideally. I usually do it this direction, but I've done it the opposite direction too, and it works just fine. So he's purring. You're gonna grab right about here and make sure that you kind of point downwards so that it doesn't basically come up out of the skin. So really quick motion. There we go. And then that's when you undo this. No, Pepper. You might notice there's a little dent and the line will go slowly. All you have to do is just make sure that that kink in the tubing, You just kind of squeeze it and open it up, and that should help if that happens to you, which the more you use a bag and the more you have to seal it with that closing wheel, it might put a dent in it. So a little update on Puppy. Oh, let me give him his brush. For the past month or so, maybe, he only gets his fluids maybe 3 times a week at 100 ml. Still 100 ml, but only 3 times a week because he's doing so great. And I still do the tent test and he's still doing fine. So he's really improving. But you can see he's pretty chill. I feel like whenever I've tried to film this, for some reason, it's like he knows and he gets, this is like antsy for him, which is still, I'm sure, comparably chill compared to other cats. You will notice that your kitty might get a bubble of fluid. Like you can see here on Puppy, he's getting a bubble of fluid where it goes through, and that's totally normal and fine. If they're laying on one side, sometimes with Puppy, like he's starting to do, then he might walk around with like one shoulder that looks like it has a shoulder pad on it because that's where the fluid kind of fell to, but it dissipates throughout their body within, I would say, like 6 hours, if not sooner. You could see he's pretty chill and he's doing great. And because this is at such a high angle, just in the amount of time I've been talking, we're pretty much done. If you go up and look at it, 100 milliliters, because it was a new bag, is right when it hits the 1. So once it hits that 1, we'll be done. And you can see, because it's so quick, he's got that big water bubble right here. So we're just gonna take this guy, close it, and then when you take the needle out, you kind of want to pinch around where you put it in, pull it out, and he's done. Look at his shoulder right now. This is like all water right now, but it'll go throughout his whole body. It is, for example, Sunday, so I might not give him fluids again until maybe even Wednesday. It just, you know, it depends on the tent test, also on like timing in the schedule and if he seems like he needs it. But yeah, that's pretty much the process and how we do it. And this is one of the reasons it's taken 4 months to film the other part of this video, because the distractions are a lot. Okay, here you go, buddy. If you guys missed it, the last video I posted that was a huge part in Puppy improving so much with his kidney markers and health markers and all of that, having just turned 17 years old, I just posted his supplement stack. That's pretty thorough. That was the last video I posted. I'll make sure to link that below. This bubble, Bubba. This bubble. I hope that this video was helpful. I'm happy to say the Puppy is doing great and our routine is not as dire feeling as it was, but that it's proven to be very, very effective and beneficial for his health and longevity, because he's basically the Benjamin Button of cats. Alfred, you have mascara on. Okay, Puppy, here you go. Say bye.